Hi everyone and welcome back to Maths and Physics with Mr. Simons. Today is grade 12 inverse functions. We will be defining a function. So you've done functions before, but we will also learn how to do vertical testing, vertical line testing to see something is a function, and horizontal line testing to name a function, right? So this is new for grade 12. So per definition, a function is a set of ordered pairs where, very important, for every value of x, there is one and only one value for y. However, for the same value of y, there may be different values of x. So I may have many values of x, but only one value of y for that x value. And I can't have too many y values, then it's not a function. Domain, just to refresh, a set of permissible values of x in a function is called a domain. Range, set of all permissible values of y in a function is called a range. Now, vertical line testing, per definition, just means that if we have any graph that's drawn and we draw a vertical line through it, we want to test whether it touches the graph once or more than once. So this test requires us to draw a vertical line parallel to the y-axis. So you see there that line is parallel to the y-axis and perpendicular to the x-axis and moving this line across the graph. So they're perpendicular, so if I move it across the graph, does it touch once or twice? If for every input value x, which in this case is 4, we have only one output value y, the graph is considered a function. If this line intersects the graph in more than one place, it is not a graph or function. So there, x is 4, but there it makes contact with the graph at y equal to 2, and here it makes contact with the graph at y equal -2. So this fails a vertical line test, therefore it's not considered a function. Alright, the vertical line cuts the graph more than once, therefore for every input value there is more than one output value. Horizontal line cuts graph only once. This is an example of one-to-many relationship. So this graph is referred to as a relationship and not a function. Or the drawing, I shouldn't say graph, the drawing is referred to as a relationship because the vertical line makes contact in more than one place. Only when the vertical line makes contact in one place only is it considered to be a function. So horizontal and vertical line tests put together. There you can see I draw two solid black lines. That is for the vertical line test. It makes contact with the graph at one place, and there makes contact with the graph at one place. If I draw a horizontal line, it makes contact with the graph at 1 and 2 places. So here I have two x values, which is -4 and 4 here. Right, but I only have one y value, 4, so this is considered a function because the vertical line test only cuts it once. And when we name it, we always name it in relation to x to y. So the vertical line only cuts the graph once, therefore it is a function. Horizontal line shows that for two input values, -4 and 4, I have one output value, which is 4. Therefore, this function is referred to as x to y many to 1. So I have many x values and one y value. So many to 1. Naming functions. So when we name functions, we name them x to y. So therefore, if we have one x value and two y values, we have one-to-many relationships, right? Which in theory just sounds wrong, having one-to-many relationships. So I've broken it down. You can go study and memorize. Straight line graph is a one-to-one function. Therefore, the inverse of a straight line graph will also be one-to-one. Remember, inverse, we reflect about the line y equal to x. So my y becomes my x and my x becomes my y. Parabola is many-to-one function. Therefore, the inverse of it is one-to-many relationship. Hyperbola 1 to 1, so the inverse stays 1 to 1, and exponential is 1 to 1, therefore the inverse stays 1 to 1. Alright, so the only one that's not a function is the one to many. It fails a vertical line test. Right, so make sure you go memorize and study it in exam. Our focus is always either on the parabola or the exponential. Alright, the parabola, because the inverse is not a function, and we can now test many other questions on it. Hope you follow and understand. God bless. Bye.